Okay, we're live. Okay, we are live. So I'll know when I go home if this recorded properly. Hi, everybody. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Say hi to the folks back home. Okay, we're here live at CCT campus in beautiful Dublin, Ireland, and we're with a wonderful group of cadets here. And what we're doing is we made two virtual machines with Windows 2019 server. And so what we've done is we made the first virtual machine and we renamed it Server 1. We made the second one, we renamed it Server 2. So if you see here on my screen, I've got Server 1 and Server 2. Server 1 is running, so let's get Server 2 running. And what we're going to do is we're going to get the two servers side by side. I'm going to show you how to network them. Now we are going to run into one small little thing. There's something there called a firewall, okay? And I'll explain about the firewall in a few minutes. But basically this is my server machine, one of them. And let's go get the other one, says running. And so now I want to get them side by side. Now notice it's partial screen. What that means is I did put in the guest editions, but it hasn't expanded all the way. Some of you probably have, some of you maybe haven't. It will eventually. But what I can do here is watch this magic. Everybody knows this operating system is called Windows. But do you know why it's called Windows? Because every program runs in its own little window. That's right. Now, up at the top of the bar, top of each window is a bar with the title. Who knows what we call the bar with the title? Title bar is right. Who would have guessed? Okay. So if you left click on the title bar, you can drag that around. Cool. So I'm going to go, this is server number 2. I want server 2 on the left and server 1 on the right. So I'm going, this is Windows. I don't know what works with Mac, but on Windows, watch this. I'm going to go hit it on the right side, and everything else is on the left side, like a task manager. Okay, so it shows me all the tasks that are running. But I want the one that says the other virtual machine. This one. Remember we were here earlier, we had done some pinging and stuff. So I can close that. But look, I've got two virtual machines side by side. So I want you to do that as well. Now, one of the things I'm going to point out to everybody, I'm going to try to move this around. What I want to point out to you is these little things that come up at the top have this little blue X. You can just click on that, get rid of those anytime you want. Good to know. Now, our network adapter on both of these, I can go to Machine Settings and go into Network, and we see adapter 1 is on internal and adapter 4 is on NAT. If I go to the other one, should be the same. But watch, instead of going into settings, machine settings, I'll go into device network settings. Does the exact same thing. Just two ways to get to the same place. And if I go there, the first one's on internal, the fourth one's on NAT. Now, here's why we're doing that. By having the two adapters on internal, they are connected internally to an internal switch. Remember we talked about in the networking, what makes a local area network is all the devices in your network are connected to the same switch, and you make a local area network. So we are making a LAN, okay? Now, the problem is though, because they're connected internally, there's no connection to the internet if we only have one NIC. But what we're going to do is we put in a second NIC on adapter 4 on NAT, and because of that, network address translation is what NAT stands for, it's going to allow us to connect to the internet. So does everybody see what's happening? We have two NICs connecting internally, and then each machine has a separate NIC to go to the internet. All right? So that's what we have there. Now, if you only have one NIC, just put it on internal, because you don't really need internet. I just wanted to show you how to get it. Now, go down to the bottom of each machine and type in CMD, which is your command prompt. And I'll go into this one, CMD. Okay, CMD. There we go. Now, what you're going to do is, first of all, type in this command, hostname, on both machines, hostname. Now, if you didn't rename your machine, you're not going to have these names. You might not have the same names anyway. I called my first one server 1, and the host name is server 1, and I called the second one server 2. Okay? So what I did was I went to CMD, and then I typed in host name. One word, host name. Okay? So that's going to give you the name of your virtual machine or your server. Everybody okay on that?
Yep.
Did you get yours? You got yours? She's working? Okay. All right. We haven't really done anything yet, but we're getting to the command prompt. So go over to the first machine and type in ipconfig. So I typed in ipconfig, but nothing happened. How come? I need to press enter. I'm just reminding everybody. We call that entering a command. You haven't entered the command if you haven't hit the enter key, okay? All right, so we see we have a 10 address and a 0515. And then we have a 192.168. Now, if we go to the other one and type in ipconfig, we see the same thing. I have a 169 address. Maybe mine are a little bit reversed from yours, but it's the same thing. I have a 10.0.5.15, and you do too, right? That's for adapter 4. If you used adapter 3 or 2, they'd be a slightly different number, but it'd still start with 10. That's your NAT address. Now, the 169 address, I want to explain that to you, what's going on there, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to go to the networking class, because this is something you should know for the networking. And what you need to know is about a new friend of yours called DHCP. Okay? Who knows about DHCP? What do you know about DHCP? Automatically gives you IP addresses. Perfect. Okay? So a DHCP server is running in this room. When you connect it up to our access point with your with CCT's code, it gives you an IP address. And so DHCP gave you an address. The other thing is it registered you with our DNS server as well, so other people can find you. That's how you get your IP address here, all right, from DHCP. Now, there's two ways to get an IP address. Today, we're going to network the two machines, and we are going to give them a static IP address. So I'm going to explain APIPA to you in a second, but before we do, let's go back to that virtual machine, and I want you to right-click on the first machine, right-click on the start button, that little flag logo, Microsoft logo, right? Right-click. So when I say right-click, you're holding your mouse with your hand. I have a real mouse. You might have a trackpad. And then when you right-click, it gives you a fly open menu. And from it, do you see an item, network connections? Okay. If you can't find it, it's the one that says network connections. Okay. So you got that. Now, we're going to go over to the second machine, right-click on the same thing, same menu, network connections. So we're going to configure both machines side by side at the same time. Isn't that pretty cool?
Yep.
Okay, now, there's two ways to get an IP address. One is to go to, you have a question? Hold on. Two ways to get an IP address. One is to get it from DHCP. The other one is to put in a static IP address. We want to put in a static IP address in both. But what I want to show you is currently it's programmed to get an address from DHCP. Okay? There's only one problem. Since it's internal, can it find a DHCP server? No. So if it can't find a DHCP server, then what it's going to do is use automatic private IP addressing in the range of 169.254.0.0 with a subnet mask 255.255.0.0. So do you see how you have that APIPA address and that subnet mask? That's happening because we do not have a DHCP server in there. So your network card gave itself an IP address. So why would that be good? Why would automatic IP addressing be good? Imagine there's 100 of us here, and we normally get our address from DHCP, but all of a sudden the DHCP server is not working. But because we have a APIPA, we can at least assign ourselves an IP address on the same range, 169.254, and we can talk to each other. Fair enough? Now, does it have a default gateway though? No. The default gateway, guess what device the default gateway is? Your router, and connects you to another network. So in other words, we can talk to each other, but we can't talk to other networks, can we? Okay? So we can't, but that's what a APIPA is. So if you go back, if you go back to this, you'll see that 169 address. That's our APIPA address. Fair enough? Now, we're going to go give it a static IP address. Oh, somebody had a question. What was your question?
Just because I did something,
Yeah.
and one virtual machine is with no internet, and I'm trying to connect to the internet's not working.
Okay, well, you don't need internet for what we're doing, so don't worry.
But when I do the command, the CMD,
Yeah.
like it doesn't show anything. One shows everything, and the other one just show like immediate.
So you do have an internal. The main thing you need is an internal network adapter. Here, just keep following with me. You'll be okay. Right? Everybody, here's the next thing we're going to be doing. Shh, quiet. This is being recorded. This is part of history here. Okay. Now, can anybody figure out where we need to click to change adapter options? Teacher, how about the one that says change adapter options? That's a good guess. Let's go to the other one too. So now, what you see is Ethernet and Ethernet 2, if you have two adapters, right? So let's leave Ethernet 2 alone, because that's the one that's on NAT. That's adapter 4. So your first one is adapter 1 is Ethernet. I want you to right-click on that one and go to Properties. Right-click on the other one and go to Properties. So we're looking at the properties of your Ethernet card. Everybody do that. Did you get that? Okay, do you want me to go through that again? Okay. How about I keep going and I can show you up on Moodle. I have a PDF procedure on how to do this up on Moodle, everybody. Okay? So let's keep going. So just to recap everything I just did there, what we did here, I'm going to close those just for a moment. What I did there was right-click on the Start button of Server 1 and go to Network Connections. And right-click on the Network Connections. Then we went into Change Options for Adapter. Now, next we went to right-click on Ethernet and go into Properties on both of these. Okay, now, if you look at your options, the first one says Client for Microsoft Networks. What is that? It's called the Workstation Service, and that's what lets you act as a client and connect up to servers. Pretty cool, right? But this is server. So it also has a server service. So if you look at this file and print sharing, this allows the machine to be a server. Now your Windows 10 and Windows 11 machine have both of these also. So in other words, you know you're a client if you're Windows 10 or Windows 11, but you can also share a folder or a printer and act as a server. If you turn off this service, you can't act as a server. If you turn off the client for Microsoft Network, you can't connect up to servers. So you see how important those two services are. Okay. Now, You see there's an Internet Protocol version 4 and Protocol 6. We're not going to use 6. 6 is used on the Internet, but in local area networks they use IP version 4 mainly. So click on IP version 4 and then click on Properties. And then the other one, same thing, IP version 4 and Properties. By the way, anybody who's following along, if you later on, if anybody feels lost or needs more assistance with this, up at the top of Moodle, there's 7 steps to configure networking on 2 VMs. See that? There's a whole tutorial on that. And then also setting network connections using Oracle VirtualBox. Do you see those, everybody? So those are up at the top of Moodle. So I don't want anybody to, if you want me, if you need to tune in on these. Okay, so just to keep going here, folks, this has 2 options: obtain an IP address automatically or use the following address. Okay? Now, what do you think it means to obtain an IP address automatically? What do you think it means to use the following IP address? Which one would be static, which would be dynamic?
Use the following IP address is static.
Use
Obtain an automatic one is dynamic.
Perfect. So use the following IP address. We're giving it a static IP address. We're programming it in. Whereas the other one, obtain an IP address automatically, means to get it from DHCP. But there is no DHCP here, so we are getting it automatically, but it's getting the APIPA address. You see what APIPA is? You don't need to know APIPA for this quiz now, but when you have your final exam next year, I'm going to ask APIPA on that, okay? You have plenty of time to learn it, okay? And it makes perfect sense, because before they had APIPA, if you couldn't get an IP address from DHCP, you'd have all zeros. How many people can you phone if your mobile phone had a phone number of all zeros? Nada. No one. Okay? So, how many computers can you talk to if your IP address is 0.0.0.0? It ain't going to happen. Okay? So, by getting an APIPA address, you can't talk to other networks because you don't have a router default gateway, but you can at least talk to everybody else. They're all going to have it 169. And look, they're all going to be different. This one's 169.254.240.96. This is 169.254.40.211. You see how they're all different? Everybody has different APIPA addresses. Cool? Okay? So, getting back to this one, though, what we want to do is go to both machines and give them a static IP address. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to give this one 192.168.0.100. And if you hit the space bar, it can take you to the next. Watch this. When I put in the 192, it jumped me to the next octet, or the next number. So I put in the 168, that jumps me to the next one. But if I put in a 0, it doesn't jump me over. Just hit the space bar. We'll move you over. And then I'm going to put in 100. Now, what we're going to do now is hit the tab key. And the tab key gave me 255.255.255.0. Why did it do that? Why did it know to give me 255.255.255.0? Okay, good. So we're going to talk about classes of IP addresses and subnet masks, right? I'm going to introduce something new to you. While we're here, while we're doing it, you might as well understand what we're doing, okay? So watch this, everybody. If you look here, our number started with 192. So if it starts with 192, what's the default subnet mask? 255.255.0. So if you look there, when we hit the tab key, it gave us that subnet mask. Now, the APIPA was a 169, which is class B, whereas our addresses are class C. So when we put in 192, we got a class C subnet mask. When we put in the 169, when that came in, it gave us class B. And then if you had, say, a 10 address, it would do class A. Does that kind of make sense a little bit about this? So class A, B, and C, shh, no talking please. Class A, B, and C are used on the internet. D and E are not used on the internet, okay? So if we go back to what we're doing here, what we did was we hit the tab key, and we didn't tell it to use the class C subnet mask. It just knew since 192 was class C IP address, then it gave us the class C subnet mask. Cool? Okay. Now we're going to hit the tab key. Tab key is the one on the left side of the keyboard, has two arrows going different ways. Hit the tab key. Our gateway is going to be our router out of the network, 192.168.0.1. And we're going to go hit the tab key. We're going to put for our DNS 192.168.0.100. So we are going to become the DNS server. And for the alternate DNS, you don't need one. But if you were going to put a DNS, what would you put? 8.8.8.8. Why? Whose DNS address is that? Google. Google. Okay. Okay. How's that sound? Now keep that open. Let's go to the other machine because we need two machines to network them. How about we put in 192.168.0. How about 100 again? Do you like 100?
No.
Isn't that a great number? I love that number.
But it's already used.
But it's already used, so it would be a duplicate IP address. And the rule is, just like you can't have two people with the same phone number, it's not going to work on the same network. No way. You can't have two computers with the same IP address on the same network. Could have it on a different network, so long as they don't see each other. Okay. So how about we use 200? 200. Cool. Now, so the rule is, every machine on the same subnet should have different IP addresses, but they should have the same subnet mask, the same default gateway, and the same DNS. So if I hit the tab key, what subnet mask will I get?
255.
It's like a mind reader. How did you know? Because it's a class C IP address, so you get a class C subnet mask. Okay, our gateway, we're going to put in 192.168.0.1. Oops, 0.1. And then our DNS server is going to be the other machine. So everybody's going to use the same DNS server. So 200 is just the client. 100 is our DNS server. So I'm going to put in 192.168.0.100. Because 100 is the other machine. Does that make sense? That's going to be our DNS server. And then we're going to put in the Google address for DNS 0, 0, 0, 0. Cool? Okay.
Can you repeat why the preferred DNS server will be the same?
Oh, because everybody on the network should be using the same. You're going to probably have one DNS server,
okay,
and everybody should be using it.
Okay.
You actually don't need an alternate because so long as it can find the main one, it'll never use the alternate anyway. Okay. So it's just there for fault tolerance, backup. Okay, how's that, everybody? Good?
I tried to put 0 on my machine, says it's not a valid number.
Try to put 0 where?
On the alternate DNS server.
We're not using 0, we're using 8.
Let's say 0.
I said 8.8.8.8. Did I say 0? Oh, second time, 0. Oh, sorry about that. I apologize. Did I? Play back the...
It's your Irish accent.
Okay, anyway, they should both be 8.8.8.8. I didn't mean 0. Okay. Just somebody had me thinking of something else. Okay, so how about we've got that. Click OK. Click Save. Close this. Now keep the... I'm just going to click OK. See right there? OK. It's the one that says OK. And then we're going to go click Close. I can close this. Now keep this open, though. What we want to do now, how would I find our IP address? IP config. Let me show you a magic trick. Hit the up arrow, and it'll magically bring back your last command. Ooh, amaze your friends, right? Up arrow brings back your last command. And now I'm going to go to the other one and up arrow, bring back my IP config. So do you see now you have your static IP address 192.168.0.100 and 192.0.200. Cool? Everybody got that?
Yeah.
Well, you should, because those are the numbers we used. So if you didn't, just keep watching. Anyway, now, we want to check connectivity between the two machines. Connectivity is defined as a reliable connection between two devices. So if you can call somebody up and they answer, you have connectivity. Cool? All right? So one thing to know, though, is, shh, everybody quiet. Between these two machines, now there's a command we use called ping. And so if you go to the first machine, let's see if we have connectivity to the internet. Go ping www.yahoo.com. Okay? Can you ping Yahoo? You should kind of be able to. I'll go to my other one. Ping www.yahoo.com.
Ping space www.
Yeah. For that one, it says it couldn't find it. How about try Google? Ping www.google.com. Okay, it went through. It took a while, but it went through.
Mine was okay.
It's
with
missing
the
one W.
Yahoo.
On mine or yours?
Yours.
No, I've got a different thing here. I need to go here, machine, settings, network, NAT, go here, internal, because IP config. That's better. Now I should ping Yahoo, no problem. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, what did you do?
Okay, now, here's what happened. Did you notice on my machines, on the second machine, I had to do something. See, you know how I had you use adapter 1 and adapter 4, and not adapter 1 and 2? Oracle VirtualBox has a little, there's something in the software that usually works perfect on the network adapter, but sometimes there's a problem. So, if you look at mine, if I type in IP config on this one, and I type in IP config on this one, on most of you, what happened was I had to switch around. Are you still getting a PIPA address on one of yours? Or are you able to ping the internet? Yeah? Or, no?
In one of them I'm able, in the other one I'm
Yeah,
not
on
able.
one I was able to, and the other one I wasn't. So the one where I wasn't able to, I went into machine settings. Most of you won't need to do this, but I went to adapter 1 and took that off internal and put it on NAT, and I took adapter 4 and took that off NAT and put it on internal. So I just swapped it around only because I had to, and then it worked. They should work fine the other way. For most of you, they will, but if you're troubleshooting, this is a great little trick, okay?
Oh yeah, teacher, in the first one, before we do this,
Yeah.
we could see there in the connection specific DNS suffix. One of them was the CCP .ie, the
Yeah.
50 CCP.ie.
Yeah.
And the other one that we alterated, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
So we alterated it was there.
Okay. All right. So at this point, we've got 15 minutes. Quiet, everybody. Shh. Just at this point, everybody should have 2 addresses. If you don't, we can help you fix it. But everybody should have, for one address should be 192.168.0.100, and the other one's 192.680.200. Does everybody have that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, if you don't have that, I'll come back and help you troubleshoot in a minute. Okay? Let me keep going because this is being recorded and we're almost out of time.
Which
Yeah.
one you should have?
One should have 100 and the other should be 200.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Don't worry about the other one, just so long as you have those two. Is that fair enough? Okay, anybody who doesn't, I can help you troubleshoot in a few minutes. So let's keep going. Now, what we want to do is go to the first machine and type in ping. Ping sounds very oriental, but it isn't. It stands for Packet Internetwork Groper. We know what groping is? You ever, at nighttime, when it's dark, and you're groping around in the dark and trying to find the light? So inside the network it's very dark, so the packets are they're groping around in there. That's what ping stands for, I kid you not, okay? He's making this up. Look it up on Wikipedia if you don't believe me. Okay, so we're going to type in ping. Didn't we just ping Google, right? We use ping to check connectivity, right? So I want you to type in ping. What's the other machine, the address?
192.168.0200.
0200. So we're going to go ping 0200. Now, what's going to happen? Shh, quiet everybody. It's going to send out 4 echo requests. So in other words, the echo request is saying, are you there? And it's expecting an echo reply, yes, I'm here. So we saw that from Google. Are you there? Yes, I'm here. Are you there? Yes, I'm here. Are you there? Yes, I'm here. Are you there? Yes, I'm here, right? But now I said, are you there? And it said request timed out. So can it reach the other machine?
No.
Okay, now there's a reason why it can't reach the other machine. The reason why has to do with something called a firewall. I'm not going to explain everything to you, but I'm going to go give you the small explanation. I'm typing in Wikipedia, well-known ports, and then if I go here, what you're going to see is, do you remember how earlier I said to you that HTTP for your web uses what port?
Yep.
What port does HTTP? 80. Okay. Now, how many ports are there? There's 65,536. So if we look at this list, we can see, for example, the email uses simple mail transfer protocol on port 25. We're going to see that FTP, file transfer protocol, uses ports 20 and 21. Why am I showing you this? I'm trying to introduce to you about the ports. Can you guys be quiet, please? I'm trying to introduce to you about the ports, but also I'm trying to show you the reason why it can't reach the other machine is the firewall is blocking the port to let it go through. And I'm going to show you how to open the port. Cool? So there's a firewall. Guess what happens if your system does not have a firewall?
You can be invaded.
All of the ports are wide open, 65,536. So imagine you left your house this morning, all the doors and windows wide open, and a big sign on your front door with an arrow, nobody's home, all doors and windows are open. You're not going to do that. But the bad guys and girls, they have what's called a port scanner, and they can look for open ports. And if they find an open port, guess what all this hacking and all the cyber crime's all about? They look for vulnerabilities. And if they can find open ports, it's like the burglar finding an open window or door and getting in your house. So let's go.
Learn this?
We have 9 minutes left. We have just enough time. What I want you to do is hit the up arrow on the first machine. Now, we did ping 192.168.0.200. I want you to hit the space bar one time, put in a -T, and hit enter. Now, here's what it's going to do. Instead of sending out 4 echo requests looking for 4 echo replies, it's going to do what's called a continuous ping. So it's going to keep pinging the other machine. Why are we doing this? Because we're going to go to the other machine, we're going to open the firewall, and the minute we open the firewall, you'll see the packets will get through. How cool is that, huh? And we have 8 minutes left, so we might still accomplish it before 2:30. So here we're getting this continuous ping. Now go to the second machine, and what you want to do is you can just go into the little magnifying glass thing there, and type in Windows Defender. See this Windows Defender? Right, go to the Windows Defender, firewall.
I think it is not recognizing this as an internal or external command. About 200.
Okay, so I've opened up the firewall. Everybody got that?
Yep.
Did you see how I did that? I went down here to the run command and I just typed in Windows Defender Firewall.
When I put this with the D there, my one don't do nothing.
Minus T, not D. Must be my Irish accent. I didn't know I had an Irish accent. I've been living here 20 years, right? I probably don't sound as American probably as I used to. Okay, now look, see how the ping is over there on machine 100, right? Go over to the firewall. Watch this magic. Look at this, nothing up my sleeve. What you're going to do is go to advanced settings. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
By the way, this is up on Moodle. There's a procedure on how to do this, okay? So if anybody gets lost, if you go to Moodle, it's right here. It's this one, Firewall ICMP for ping. It says IGMP. I meant to put ICMP because that's what we're using. So watch this. I want you to go. Do you think we need to go to the inbound rules or outbound? No. Inbound, because the outbound is open, but the inbound is closed. So here's what happens. If the port is blocked, it drops the packets. The packets are hitting, falling off, hitting, falling off. It's dropping the packets. If you ever hear that expression, falling the packet, dropping the packets, that's what dropping the packets means. What's going to happen is we're going to open the firewall, and it's going to go shooting through. Let's do it. So here, go to inbound rules, and then what you want to do is go down to where it says, it's down below the little green tick marks. Do you see a file and printer sharing echo request? There's two of them. If you hover your mouse, one says ICMP version 4 and the other one says version 6. Which one do you think we want? Version 4 or 6? 4. So watch this. I'm going to click on that. I can click out here where it says enable rule, or I can right click on it and go enable rule. Now watch this. Nothing up my sleeve. I'm going to pull a rabbit out of my hat. Just like in the circus. Kidding, I'm kidding. Watch this. The ping is going to go through the minute I say enable rule. 3, 2, 1, here goes.
Yeah, you found it. Reply.
Come on.
You got a reply.
You're supposed to work. Come on, I opened the port.
You open the you try to open the port with the wrong key.
No, I opened the port. It should work. Look, the rule's enabled. Okay, there it goes. Okay, now, do you want to do the other way around, right? We can close that firewall, close this. Let's go to the other one. Go ping 192.168.0. What?
100.
100. And we're going to put a space and a minus T, like as in time, okay? So hit ping that address with a T. Let's go over to the other firewall. So the way you can do this is just, there's a few ways to it, but the easy way is just go to this magnifying glass and just type in Windows Defender Firewall. See that? Windows Defender Firewall. Now we go, where do I click? Advanced settings. And now inbound or outbound? Inbound. So I go down here to file and print sharing echo request. I can click there. See out here this little thing that says enable rule. I'll click on that. Now let's see if our ping's getting through here though. Hang on. Okay, there. I'm going to move this. Oh yeah, there it is. Hang on. Let's go back to my rules.
They're talking a lot now.
Yeah. Advanced settings. No, I clicked on the wrong thing. Here. So there's
Now
your...
we have two gossip servers.
They are now talking, and there we go. We go enable rule. Watch this. It's going to get through. Come on, baby. You can do it. There it is. Okay. So now we can close the firewall. Close that. Close this little guy here. Close you. So everybody, we got two machines to ping each other. Remember what does Freddie Mercury always say? We are the champions. Listen, everybody, you've been wonderful. So I will see you next week.
Now how we can stop that?
Okay, now here's how you stop the continuous ping. Click into the command prompt and type in Control C. Control C. Watch this. I click in here, Control C.
Okay.
Control C will break you out of it. Okay? Okay, look, we still do have 2 minutes left. I am going to let you go a little bit early, though. I know we're supposed to go till 2:30. I'm just kidding. I'm going to stop the recording, and I'm going to try to post this on my YouTube channel and put a link up on Moodle.
Thank you so much.
Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.